So the Lakers just traded Talen, Tucker, and maybe Stanley Johnson for Patrick Beverly. It's currently 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, so if I look tired and if I sound tired, well, because I am and I have to work at 8 o'clock tomorrow, but I have to get this out because it's kind of big news that doesn't really matter in the long term. I mean, adding Pat Bev to the Lakers team is not a needle mover for them. He's a good piece, and he's an upgrade over Talen and Tucker, kind of. What's really interesting about this trade to me is that the year ago, the Lakers considered Talen and Tucker untouchable, right? They weren't trading him for a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. They weren't trading him for Kyle Lowry at the deadline. Like, he was completely off the table. And now they trade him and another rotational player, Stanley Johnson, who gave him pretty decent minutes for Pat Bev, is very questionable. I feel like they made a move just to make a move at this point because they need to make a bigger move than this. I was really, really liking the Turner and Heel trade for them, having to give up Westbrook, giving 2 future first-round picks, and maybe throwing in a Horton Tucker as a sweetener. But it's just confusing to me at this point because the Lakers have been staying away from trading those 2 future first-round picks, the 2027, 2029, because they're looking to build after the LeBron era. Because let's be honest, once LeBron retires, the Lakers are going to have nothing. So, and Talen Tucker can ball. Like, if he's not playing with LeBron and Russ, who dominate the ball, he can be a very, very good player. Like, when LeBron and AD and Westbrook didn't play, he put up great numbers. So this trade is just more and more confusing to me. I honestly don't like the trade at all for them. I mean, Pat Bev gives them good perimeter defense, can give you 10 points on a good scoring night, but it doesn't really move the needle. And if you're holding on to these other assets to build with the future, but you trade a 22-year-old who's proven, who can play well at times, maybe not with a ball-dominant player like LeBron and Westbrook, but with that said, Horton Tucker can ball, and I feel like trading one future asset but holding on to some other ones, you're going all in on nothing. And I just don't really understand this move for the Lakers. Like, don't get me wrong, if they got like Bojan Bogdanovic out of the deal, or if they got like even like Malik Beasley out of the deal, I like it a whole lot more for them. But there's really not much to talk about here with Pat Bev. He's going to give him good rotational minutes. He's going to give him good defense. And not to mention that him and Westbrook hate each other. And he's always gotten on LeBron's skin. He's gotten on Westbrook's skin. He's called AD soft. Like, you have a lot of personalities on the Lakers team that have like confrontation with Pat Bev. So just bring him in and just be like, everything is cool, let's play ball. That's not Westbrook's style. I mean, LeBron can deal with any personality in the league, but I feel like just throwing him in that mix and acting like the chemistry is going to be 100% perfect is just delusional. I mean, Pat Bev literally injured Russell Westbrook. I mean, I know it's not intentional, but deep down, Westbrook blames Pat Bev for his knee injury because Westbrook had to have surgery because Pat Bev had a dirty-ish play on him. If they have Westbrook and Pat Bev, there's going to be some issues on that team, chemistry-wise. But I'll bring it back to trading those assets. Like, they had 3 or 4 kind of young, good assets. They had Horton Tucker, they had Austin Reeves, and they had those 2 draft picks. You move on from Talen and Tucker, but you keep on the other young assets. Like, you're depleting your small young asset pool for not a great addition. Like, I would have rather seen Talen and Tucker in a deal with Westbrook, with those picks, to get role players like Buddy Hield and Turner, who will both give you fantastic minutes. But instead, you trade two rotational guys who can play good for you at times for Pat Bev. It doesn't really seem that good for the Lakers. Like, I think they just made a move just to make a move. I'm not a fan of it at all. But for the Utah side, this is a great move. I mean, they're obviously going in a direction to rebuild. So you give up Pat Bev, who was just a contract, and the Rudy Gobert trade for Talen Horton Tucker and Stanley Johnson. And I also feel bad for Stanley Johnson. I feel like he finally found a place in the NBA and the Lakers team, and they just shipped him off. I mean, that's how the NBA works. It's a business. I get it. But damn, Stanley Johnson I don't know what his role is going to be on Utah, but he was definitely in the spotlight with the Lakers, and he and he took the best of every opportunity on that team, and now he's going to be on a rebuilding team once again, who's probably not going to use him at all. But this is just my initial takes on the trade. I'm kind of all over the place. Like I said, it's 1 in the morning on the East Coast. So if y'all could like, subscribe for the grind, I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. And please let me know your thoughts on this trade. I think it's pretty pointless from the Lakers side. I really don't like the move. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.